bringing it in with that focus action attack, had that security blanket, and allowed him to close it pretty easily.
You could see though that DYL was doing everything they could to neutralize this Koraidon. The Intimidates were there, the knock-up was there to remove the light bulb, and this was an incredible turn where Incineroar was able to hang on. Koraidon even weakened here, and it was a fantastic strategy from DYL early on. However, WOLFE was able to play around it. This was also awesome, seeing the wall come through.
Brilliant play, yeah, just to utilize the fact that you can get an attack off, and you can also pivot out, make use of it on the Farigiraf to get something else on the field to keep that pressure in the trigger room up.
It really did feel like WOLFE had Koraidon as the centerpiece in this particular match and kept making sure the Pokémon, particularly the Amoonguss as well, providing that redirection support and a little bit of extra pressure with the Sludge Bomb here and there to chip away at opposing Pokémon so Koraidon could finish up with the knockout later on in the match was really masterfully played. We really are seeing two incredible Pokémon trainers at work here.
Yeah, we are, and it all comes down to this third game and what both players can do. Can WOLFE overcome the Farigiraf threat, the trick room threat early on? If it can't, then can you get through those trick room turns and get out of too many Pokemon, too many resources, and I think if you're DYL, you need to make better use of those trick room turns, because especially in that last game, just weren't able to get the returns like they did in the first game, and maybe that's got something to do with bringing that Urshifu. We saw it not a choice in that second game, so wasn't able to come in and have that immediate impact, that immediate pressure and things like that Wicked Block, and it has got the security of the focus action, so you can sit in front of those big threats like the Koraidon, take an attack at least one turn, and utilize the Wicked Block, and then the Sucker Punch if the speed tiering isn't perfect for yourself.
I mean, Iron Hands is definitely the more traditional trick Pokemon in that scenario, but as we saw with the speed interaction with the Koraidon and the Fluttermane, for example, Urshifu can actually do incredibly well in this particular matchup in a trick room environment with that focus slash as well to give you an extra bit of defensive support. It could be a really nice way for DYL to gain command of the game 3. WOLFE, however, does of course still have options. We were able to see how expertly the Amoonguss was working in trick room, unable to score, but able to just kind of on the field for WOLFE.
Yeah, here we go into game 3. The Urshifu back for DYL, deciding it was the better play, not opting for it in game 2, and it may have been the difference, but it's back. It is going to put on a bit of pressure this turn, especially because it's the side that Incineroar has the active fake out, and the Koraidon is now going to be susceptible to taking that attack, slowing it down for one turn. It does open the door for the Fluttermane though, because it isn't going to be susceptible to it. Has got the Moonblast into that Urshifu. Do you, if you're DYL, want to target down into that and maybe trade the Fluttermane for the Urshifu, because Fluttermane goes Moonblast onto the Sash, Urshifu goes Wicked Blow in return. We're going to see it play out. It is the fake out.
Fluttermane going for the Moonblast here into the Urshifu. Down through that focus Sash. Koraidon, however, will of course be flinched by that fake out, and no crystallization coming through from it either here. Koraidon, as you can see, cannot move, but Urshifu now trying to go for the close combat. That's going to connect into the Koraidon, but it's going to be able to hang on, but it's now going to be very vulnerable going forward. Not going to be as safe to go for those flare blitzes in the future.
No, I think a nice play as well. You shut down that slot, you go for it, because even if it protects, you get the attack into that Pokemon. Now you still have the Sucker Punch that you can go for into the Fluttermane. Not going to be enough to pick up the knockout, of course, with that focus attack, but you could go for the double up maybe with your Incineroar, but doing that's kind of dangerous because you're risking leaving that Koraidon alone. The Sucker Punch is not going to be enough to pick that up, especially when it's not terrestrialized. It is down to -1, so maybe that's a slot that you can say, okay, well, Fluttermane can't deal with the Urshifu here. I will have to take a Sucker Punch for that. I'm just going to hope that my opponent doesn't double up into my Fluttermane slot, but if you suspect that, you can protect the Fluttermane using Koraidon just to remove that Urshifu.
Exactly, because with the Sucker Punch going into a protect, it's not going to be able to push through. Unseen Fist would be null and void, but Fluttermane is going to be leaving the field here. Koraidon potentially going to be the damage dealer in this turn, as Incineroar, the great friend to WOLFE indeed, is joining the field, throwing the Intimidate down against both of these Pokemon. So Urshifu does want to maybe try and go for the Sucker Punch. And Koraidon on that close combat once again, it is going to be doing a little less damage. I feel like, however, if it's close combat, Koraidon is not going to be out of the danger zone here. Crystallization comes through once again onto that Incineroar. It is going to be the Ghost Terror type, maybe just playing defensively in case of close combat coming down into that slot like we saw in game 1.
Yeah, and a really great crystallization here just to keep the Incineroar around, so you've got those Intimidates for later. Sucker Punch coming out, and what was that Incineroar slot? Not going to be enough to get any damage up there, and the tiny amount of HP. The Flame Charge coming out, putting that Koraidon one speed stack faster, and just utilizing that move, it's not going to take as much recoil damage.
Yes, I really like the play there. You did look a huge amount of
Wolf will be happy with that. The trade of the restricted for just one of the regular Pokemon. I know too often the regular Pokemon, but like we say, the Groudon's gone now, and you know for a fact that Dill's going to have that Miraidon lurking in the back. The big plus here is the Fluttermane does bang on about it in game 2. Still has that Focus Sash, which is the big thing. You need to make sure that you do protect it as best as possible. Now the Incineroar is the Ghost Terastallization. It is going to be susceptible to Shadow Ball. It's super effective, so you can utilize maybe your own Incineroar if it is faster than the opposing Incineroar on Dill's side to go for a Shadow Ball, blend it into that slot, knowing that there is no protect on the Incineroar on Dill's side. The problem doing that though is, again, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, concentrating on that side of the field to remove the target. You leave that Farigiraf open to get a Trick Room up, which is the Miraidon in the back. Come in, it will underspeed that Fluttermane, and a Psychic Thousand Game or a Psychic Electric Drift would be enough to take it down.
You've got to pick your targets wisely, and Incineroar getting out of the way as Miraidon joins the field. As you were saying, Lee, this will bring the Electric Train to the field thanks to the Hadron Engine, and this is something that the Farigiraf is going to be happy to see as well. The Electric Seed will boost up his defense, so just in case Wolf decided to target down that Pokemon slot to try and stop the Trickery, it's now going to have that extra defensive capability in front of the Incineroar. Fluttermane, however, goes for the Shadow Ball. It's now going to connect onto the Miraidon. Now the Ghost Incineroar is no longer there, does about a third damage. It gets a special defense drop. That could be nice going into the following turn. Incineroar using the sun in the sky to do a little bit more damage to Miraidon, but it is able to hang on the Volt that has been invested into this Pokemon, is paying off dividends in this final as Farigiraf turns the Trick Room on once again.
Yeah, there's a Trick Room, and now that Miraidon is going to be slower than the Fluttermane, not slower than the Incineroar, but we've already seen the damage from that Flare Blitz in the sun. It is going to be able to take one pretty comfortably and return with an Electric Drift into either that Fluttermane or the Incineroar to pick up a knockout. The one thing that Wolf has though is access to protect, so you've got to guess the target right if you are Dill. Maybe one of these Pokemon is going to protect, but which one is it going to be? Is it going to be the Fluttermane, or maybe the Incineroar, expecting the Fluttermane to not see the target here because it's such an easy one to go after because it's a more offensive threat.
Incineroar can always go for that parting shot as well and just try and lower the special attack on the opposing Miraidon and pivot into the Amoonguss that we know is in the back here. Incineroar joins the field, however, for Dill's side, so trying to throw that Intimidate down onto the Incineroar to do even less damage if Flare Blitz has been locked in to try and get the knockout on the Miraidon. Fluttermane is going to be the defensive choice here. Wolf wants to keep it on the field, so just protecting it from anything the Miraidon can throw his way. So Incineroar does indeed go for that parting shot. That's going to reset the Intimidate as well. A really nice play from Wolf.
Yeah, really great to just lower that special attack. So important against this big special attacking threat. Of course, now, like you said, Lou, the Amoonguss can come in a little bit safer, especially if it is one of those electric type moves that will resist, and it has the ability to support the Fluttermane going forward. It's just a little quick though. It is going to pivot and undo that parting shot. We're not really worrying about it, opening the door for one of those other Pokemon, the Farigiraf, to come back onto the field and support that Incineroar that's now landed, has got active fake out, and it is going to pressure with things like Flare Blitz, especially in this zone.
I feel like Amoonguss got in quite comfortably in this particular turn, but the issue is you're facing down against that Amoonguss that can apply pressure with a Flare Blitz going into the next couple of turns. The Incineroar can also go for something like a knock-off into that Fluttermane. Obviously, it will break the focus action, remove it from the field and play, and that will then leave it vulnerable going forward. Wolf still has managed to preserve that focus action. I feel like he's going to need it once his Trick Room turns are over, so can he preserve it through the next couple of turns?
Yeah, he does have what you can look like as well. The Terastallization is still an option for Wolf. He can go for it to maybe take away the fire-type weakness that the Amoonguss has, especially right now with the sun up. That Flare Blitz has become very, very threatening to the point where it could be enough to pick up the knockout, maybe forcing that Incineroar back onto the field. You don't want to do that, you want to utilize the Fluttermane. You're going to have to go for that Terastallization, and it could be the difference between being able to take a Flare Blitz, take a Psychic, especially with the Dog type. You get that immunity, and that Farigiraf becomes no problem at all.
I think you called that beautifully there, Lee. This was such a great defensive play from the Amoonguss. The helping hand once again coming through from Farigiraf to help out that Incineroar as Amoonguss draws in the attacks with the Rage Powder. So we'll be protecting the Fluttermane on this turn from whatever devastating damage in this form. The Flare Blitz, the Incineroar wants to deal out.
Boosted Flare Blitz is enough. The Shadow Ball coming out into the Incineroar, and it will be enough to pick up. The trade has been made. The Amoonguss has gone and it takes away from the Miraidon. to re-enter the field and start piling on the pressure.
Both these trainers now down to their last two remaining Pokémon. Wolfe is going to be forced to bring that Incineroar back onto the field, and on the opposing side of the field, it's going to be that Miraidon. Now, the triple turns are going to be a little bit dicey here. Of course, Incineroar can't go for the fake out either because of the armor tail on the field due to the trigger out.
Now, the interesting thing here is the sun shift faded. Now, the photosynthesis on the blood domain has disappeared, so the speed drops. Now, it'll be interesting to see if the blood domain, with that lower speed now, can underspeed the Miraidon in the trick room. If it can, then it can obviously get rid of it with the Moonblast, but if it still can't, it depends on the build of the Miraidon, of course. If it is one of these slower, bulkier build Miraidons that we've seen pick up its trend, it will still be open to go for an Electro Drift into whatever target it holds.
I'm on the edge of my seat here. It all comes down to these last Pokemon remaining on the field and how these speed interactions are going to play. There's a choice to select Miraidon to know it has no utility to be able to protect. Photograph goes to the Psychic, and it is going to break the focus dash on that Blood Domain, and if the Miraidon is able to move first, it's going to be able to get the knockout. Incineroar could go for the Flare Blitz there into Miraidon. Is it going to be too little too late? Miraidon in play to be able to still get a huge amount of damage off here with the other two rings.
Here we go, which is an into the try and get that double protect off, because if you can, you can get through, let the burn take it down on that Miraidon and get rid of it. That might be a way out, because then the Incineroar beats the program if it only has Psychic, and that would be easy enough for Incineroar to do. So let's see if that is what we're going to see play out here. It's going to come right down to it though. We are going to see just a Psychic come out from God. And now it locks the game, so Incineroar is able to close this out with Burger only option able to go for the Psychic spin.
I can't believe I'm just seeing Farigger up here in a position where taking this championship. I'm absolutely shook, completely speechless by the way that Game 3 ended. The Psychic really being so detrimental to the further up in the end, and WOLFE GLICK just proving that the world champion also comes through from an international champion.
Yeah.
What a match.
Just absolutely amazing. We wanted 3 games, we've got 3 games, both of these competitors. Let's be extremely proud of ourselves. I think the adjustments in Game 2 in particular, Game 1 felt so tough for us, which is amazing to see. And then the mind games come into it in Game 3. It's really difficult to kind of just look at it from an overview and say this is what should happen, because there's a million and one things going through our trainers' minds up there. They've not only got the match to think about, they've got to try and shut out the crowd.